The most trending comic books in the world. And I'm here with Fire Guy Ryan today because you know where Russ is?
I actually don't know where Russ is.
Russ is watching Pearl Jam in another state. Where did he even go? I don't even remember. But this dude sees Pearl Jam at least like twice a year.
He sees Pearl Jam more than Pearl Jam sees Pearl Jam.
Hit the like, slap the subscribe, and let's talk about a comic book you've never heard of, but you will after this video, if you haven't by now. V-Friends The Mystery Pack, issue number 2.
I missed this. I also missed issue number 1, so I'm gonna lean on my boy Comic Tom here for a little more clarity.
All right, well, we have a mystery pack that was featured exclusively and dropped exclusively on Whatnot. Sold out immediately. A print run of over 2,800, and they were $50 a pack. But on eBay, we're seeing prices range from $60 all the way up to $150, and that's because it's created by Gary Vaynerchuk.
Gary V, that is a name I am familiar with.
Well, if you didn't know, a lot of this whole thing that we've done over the last 7 years, from like our YouTube channel to getting into like the comic book industry hard, has all been because of the hustle that Gary V inspired me to have. And that appreciation has absolutely carried over to this mainstream market. Non-comic buyers are purchasing this, is what I'm saying.
So inside these packs, you got a whole bunch of different things you can possibly get, including a hollow foil cover. There's a blank sketch cover in there, red foil, gold foil. There's even some original sketches by artist DJ Kaufman, and even one done by Gary Vaynerchuk himself.
V-Friends is an IP created by Gary Vaynerchuk, and it's like Pokemon, but with a lot more like positive messaging embedded into the narrative of the characters. I had a conversation with Gary Vaynerchuk last month about V-Friends, and I actually got a chance to read issues 1 through 3. What I can tell you is that this is a team up that's paying a lot of respect to the comic fans while serving the mainstream audience that otherwise probably wouldn't be buying comic books. And the issue 1 featured a J. Scott Campbell cover, and it was exclusively provided to NFT holders. Issue 2 exclusively released on Whatnot in these packs. No surprise, it took off.
Yeah, so don't go looking for this in your Diamond catalog anywhere. It looks like you gotta take a little more effort to try and track down these issues. Let's move on to another new book that just came out this week. One of my favorite books on the stands in all of comics, Ultimate Spider-Man number 16. This is the variant cover done by one of my favorite artists, Michael Walsh. Shout out Silver Coin.
This book is brand new and it's seeing $15 average sales, and it's because we have Richard Parker on the cover of this variant in the black symbiote suit. And the narrative isn't exactly matching the marketing plan as it pertains to the variant covers that were released for issue 1.
Yeah, issue number 1 was insanely popular because it was really good, and there were a whole bunch of reprints and variants. A lot of them featured different costumes worn by Spider-Man on the cover, but like you've got him swinging around in the Ben Reilly hoodie, for example. You've got him in the black suit. You've got him in the 2099 Future costume. So people gravitated towards that black suit variant of issue 1, thinking that was the first cover appearance of Richard Parker, Peter Parker's son, as the Ultimate Spider-Man. But if you read the actual comic book, you know there's a little bit more happening in the story. So while that first issue black suit cover does look cool, all of those covers look really cool, this is the one you want. Also, it's horizontal. Those are cool covers to get too, right?
Yo, he's hooking up with Felicia Hardy right now, so the guy has got some game.
Some riz, one might say.
The next number on the list is absolutely shocking to see it here. I may even use it for the thumbnail. Before we get to that, we are 1 month away from hitting 7 years, not on YouTube. We already hit 7 years on YouTube.
7 years since we started doing the Trending 10 video every single week, nonstop, not missing a single week. Sometimes I'll be here, sometimes Russ will be here. Tom's here pretty much every single one of them, but even he takes breaks sometimes. Basically, thank you for supporting what we do. If you want to really support what we do, you got to go check out comictom.com and the mystery mail call.
That's right. We don't have a Patreon or anything like that, but if you want to support our production, join the mystery mail call. 4 to 5 comics goes out to you every single month, plus an exclusive print, plus shots at key comic books, and you support the show. Number 8 on the list, Infinity Gauntlet number 1.
Feels like 7 years ago. Back when we started the channel, we were talking about this book all the time because 7 years ago was Infinity War. That just made me feel really old. This book came out in 1991, $20 average sales. However, this past week it did see the highest sale all year. It sold 36 times in a 9/8 so far this year, and this past week it sold for its highest all year, $200.
Seeing like $170 on average for a 9/8 of this book seems like no surprise. I mean, this was like the book that defined the first era of the MCU, so it's quite powerful, and it's a great book for the PC. But when we were discussing why this book was trending right now, the rumors, the spec, it all points to like deja vu for me the spec that I have on Sentry is happening with Thanos.
Potentially. If people's theories about what's happening here with Thanos are going to play out the same way Tom's thinking, we could be seeing a return of Thanos in something like Avengers Doomsday. Maybe a variant of him will get muck-ducked. See, I said Tom's word. Maybe a variant of him will get muck-ducked by Doctor Doom real quick to establish just how strong Robert Downey Jr.'s Doctor Doom is. But the problem with that whole narrative is we've kind of seen that before. If you remember back in What If, he had Ultron come out and just laser beam Thanos right in half in like a 1 second flat. So like, it feels like they'd be repeating themselves if they did that in live action.
An increase of copies sold of 112% is very impressive, despite this loosely being done on the screen already in the form of an animation. I think what people are experiencing right now is people hunting for Jonathan Hickman's Secret Wars comics that may take off in the future. And in issue 8, you have God Emperor Doom ripping the spine out of Thanos to essentially achieve what you just described, Ryan. You know, like really uplifting the character to show how big of a bad he is.
Yeah, if you're somebody who can take out somebody like Thanos that quick, then you must be cool. But in general, go read Hickman's New Avengers, Hickman's Avengers, The Event Infinity, and Secret Wars. Here, it all ties in, it's all really good, and the MCU has been pulling stuff from those books for years.
Number 7 on the list is Iron Man 219. First appearance of Ghost, seeing $25 average sales, $200 for a CGC 9.8. This book hit $700 at one point in a 9.8 because of, it was Ant-Man 2, right? That's the villain of that, no.
Ant-Man and the Wasp. It wasn't Ant-Man 2, Tom.
Was that Ant-Man and the Wasp?
That was Ant-Man and the Wasp.
I'm
that
forgetting.
Was Ghost. You got Lawrence Fishburne in that movie. It's a pretty good movie. Walton Goggins was in that movie, and we love him.
I really liked all the Ant-Man movies, except for, I mean, Quantumania was kind of rough, but the first 2 Ant-Man movies are solid. I put both of them on my top 10 list, which I've been...
I remember that.
Like, people give me a lot of shit for that. But I digress.
I put Daredevil at number 1, because that's the best.
That's a cheat. All right,
I win.
An increase of copies sold of 129% this week. Thunderbolts was amazing. But technically it's not called Thunderbolts anymore. And I don't want to get into any spoilers right now. I mean, the movie just came out. This guy hasn't even seen it yet.
I got the day off tomorrow. I'm going to go check it out tomorrow.
All I will say is that the hope going into this movie was that the characters that are being brought in to form this team would get like a second chance to debut their appearance on the screen better than the first time they did it. Get another crack at it. And I think they achieved that. This particular character, I think, performed better than an Ant-Man 2.
Okay. Enough said, I guess. I don't want to hear any more, but I'm glad to know that at least Ghost gets a little more presence.
And same to be said about number 6 on the list from 1989, Captain America 354, first appearance of U.S. agent John Walker, and he's on the cover for the first time. $20 average sales, $200 for a CGC 9.8.
And again, I still haven't seen Thunderbolts / New Avengers, but I have seen Falcon and Winter Soldier, and I did love this character in Falcon and Winter Soldier. Spoilers for a 4-year-old TV series, but he killed a guy with his shield. It was pretty cool. And if you also think back to then, that was 2021. And that was also the comic boom that we keep talking about. And the joint combination of those 2 events means that we saw a lot of records for this book set in around April 2021, which is when this show was on the air.
Ryan, hit him with the heights. I just said $200 for a 9.8. What did it go for in 2021?
Well, back in 2021, again, when the show was on the air, the record was set for this book, $1,400 in a CGC 9.8. So yeah, that's quite a steep drop.
Oh Lord Jesus, there's a fire. 500% increase in copies sold because this book is down. But people are watching the movie and they're really excited about it. And the news this last week had less to do about the movie and more to do about this particular character. But let's just move on to the next number because we have more John Walker to talk about.
It's the same character. It's the same character in the next number. Captain America, this one is number 323. It's one of those border issues because it was the anniversary of the first appearance of the Fantastic Four and really Marvel's Silver Age boom in the 60s.
There's a bunch of those anniversary issues, and I actually think it's a really cool collectible to own in your PC. But let's just move on to the numbers. $20 average sales, and it's selling for a bit less than the prior book, which is why I think it's trending more. $160 for a CGC 9.8 May of this year, an increase of copies sold of 267%. The news this past week was more about John Walker than anything else because their initial plans for this character was that he wasn't just gonna be this like Captain America-esque superhero with super soldier serum. No, he was actually going to be the Red Hulk.
Harrison Ford's the Red Hulk, though.
And you just got to like remind yourself, dude, that there's been such a mess with like not being able to hit deadlines and these movies getting delayed. There was an actor strike and then there was a freaking pandemic. Like, who knows at what point this plan was in place, considering Thunderbolts was announced by Key Collector Comics back in 2019 that it was even going to happen.
Yeah, considering that's a couple years before Falcon and Winter Soldier show when we got the debut of this character on screen. It does make sense that things would kind of get shuffled around and jumbled and a little bit confusing.
An increase in copies sold of 267%, so more than the prior number on the list because it's a bit more affordable, but clearly people are after 354 over this one because back in 2021, this book hit heights of $900 rather than $1,400 like issue 354. And there is a path forward for John Walker in the MCU. Or is there? No spoilers.
So I've said this before, but one of my favorite things about Key Collector is the key alerts. So when you subscribe to the app, it will pop up on your phone and tell you a bunch of useful information. For example, all the way back in 2019, one of those key alerts was inside sources are claiming that they are making a Thunderbolts movie at Marvel. And this was way before Kevin Feige ever put on one of his hats and got on stage and announced it at some sort of convention or other. So maybe give Key Collector a shot, even if it's just for the key alerts, which is honestly, again, it's my favorite part of the whole damn app, is looking at my phone and saying, oh hey, one of my favorite things got optioned this week. That's cool.
Yeah, like really let that sink in. It wasn't Deadline, it wasn't Variety, it was Key Collector Comics who announced that this movie that just premiered last week was even gonna happen. Like, this is a big deal. You can get ahead of the market and you can support the show. Code TOM101 unlocks a free 2-week subscription of the app. The majority of the app is free, like 95+% of it, but there's a handful of categories, including the key alerts function that does cost money. It's $2 a month. It'll pay for itself. Let's move on to number 4 on the list because we have a trailer for an indie book that came out through Image. And is it gonna be the next Walking Dead? It could be.
Number 4 on the list, Revival #1 from 2012. From Image Comics, we're seeing $15 average sales and a $300 sale and a 9.8 just last week. Like Tom mentioned, the trailer just dropped last week as well, and there are definite hints. It reminded me of Walking Dead, so much so that I actually pulled up the first trailer for Walking Dead.
We watched Revival, and then you stopped, and you're like, I have to watch Walking Dead again. So we pulled up the trailer for season 1, and damn, dude, Walking Dead
Before
was so
anybody
good.
knew that Walking Dead was gonna blow up and become this gigantic phenomenon. So like, who knows what could happen here with Revival? It's another Image comic. It's based on sort of some, they both deal with people coming back from the dead, but in two pretty different ways. I don't know, it could be something. The trailer does look like it will pop off in a certain way with a certain crowd, and the fact that it is coming to Sci-Fi and not a streaming platform means that we will be getting episodes week over week over week over week and not just the content dump that Netflix does.
Speaking of Key Collector, I mean, we were notified back in May 2024 that this was actually going to happen, and the trailer looks pretty cool. I mean, we're seeing an increase in copies sold of 317%. And I like that you mentioned that this is gonna be on network television. I feel like we've gone full circle with this. There was a point in the last 7 years when we found out that something was going to be on Netflix, that there was more hype on the collectible.
Makes sense. There's no ratings. It can be more mature. You get like a little bit higher production value and a budget usually on a streaming platform. So there is pros and cons of going different ways.
On certain streaming services, we'll see way more attention on Boys, for example, through Amazon, because they don't just dump all the episodes all at once for you to binge. Last of Us is another good example that is experiencing
Andor.
Yeah, okay, so there's a handful of like, hey, this is good. But Netflix, no. And then you look at like standard network television, there's a lot of them that I would be like, okay, whatever, it's not gonna be a huge thing, except for a couple. AMC, because of how they handled Walking Dead, and of course, Sci-Fi.
Sci-Fi, of course, did the show Resident Alien that has made our list a couple times in the last week, and it definitely went over me and Tom's heads because we are not network TV viewers, but that show was really popular enough to continue on. I think it's a Netflix original now, and it's like 3 or 4 seasons in, so like, don't listen to us.
And then also, yeah, Battlestar Galactica. So like, if you can release
Case
Battlestar,
closed, really.
that's it. That's all you gotta hear.
All you gotta say is Battlestar Galactica, and then we can just move on, because that's the best show ever.
Number 3 on the list, Incredible Hulk 449. This is the first appearance of the Thunderbolts team. $50 average sales, $285 for a CGC 9.8. It's a little above its recent 12-month average, but dude, they changed the name in the last week. Like that asterisk on the title, people were asking about that over and over and over again, and then we find out, we're changing the name of the movie. I've never seen that happen.
In any other movie, or especially after the movie's out and released, like obviously they'll change, like Superman Legacy, they change titles of movies before they come out all the time.
What do they do when like someone comes in to get a ticket and they're like, I'll see you.
I gotta go see the movie tomorrow. So like, what do I ask? What do I say? They're gonna be like, we don't know what to do. Guess you're
Ryan's gonna end
see-
up watching Until Dawn, is what he's saying.
Oh, I'm okay with that, I guess. No, I'm not. No, am I kidding? I'll play the game. I don't want to watch the movie.
Until Dawn was awesome.
You went and saw it already?
Of course I did. I saw it before I watched
son of a
Thunderbolts.
bitch.
Dude. I did. I saw Until Dawn before Thunderbolts. I'm not proud of it. An increase in copies of 107%. I gotta know your thoughts in the comment section below, guys, because this book seems like it's just in the dumpster.
Is it on the list because people are just getting rid of it?
I
Like
think
so many copies are hitting the
I mean,
market?
it's a different team for a movie that has changed the name officially. We'll get to that in a little bit. It's like none of the characters are even in this book, really. Like it's like too far away from the key significance that drives this price up to be.
And the fact that it's a Hulk book. It's not Thunderbolts #1 or something. It's Incredible Hulk 449. You know, it just feels so removed from anything that it actually like applies to. So let's just move on. Let's get more specific. #2 on the list, Sentry. #1. I still haven't seen the movie. Spoilers.
Dude, Thunderbolts all over this list.
Yes. Or New Avengers.
Oh, stay tuned. Sentry #1, first appearance of the century. J Elite, $100 average sales. The book's going for $350 for a CGC 9.8. Follow me on Whatnot. I sold my 9.8. Wasn't it like $200?
Oh, I can't remember.
It was like $200. Shout out Destiny who purchased that. Well, we were seeing an increase of copies sold of 114%. Clearly, Sentry was awesome in Thunderbolts. If Sentry was bad, this movie would have been trash. Like
A lot was hanging on him. He's a very cool character. I know Sentry a lot from the comics and from New Avengers especially, but seeing him on screen is very exciting, and it's weird to think that this was going to be Stephen Yeun at one point, remember?
Dude, I am so excited for you to watch this movie, and then we can chat about what you think it could have been if Stephen Yeun was Sentry. Because Sentry was awesome, but yeah, what if it was Stephen Yeun?
What if Stephen Yeun was Red Hulk?
An increase of copies sold of 114%, and this is what I was talking about in the Hot 10. I am convinced that with the Sentry's powers, like I got no spoilers, but like it's kind of light spoilers. Everyone knows this dude's overpowered, and everyone knows he is at least slated for Avengers Doomsday because they showcased that before the movie even came out, that he had a chair on set. This character is so overpowered. He is the perfect victim of Victor Von Doom to demonstrate how much of a badass he's gonna be and how much of a like foe and villain he's gonna be, and he's gonna have to outdo Thanos somehow. Is he gonna just beat Thanos really quick like they did in What If, or
Bringing it back full circle to this Infinity Gauntlet conversation we were just having a while
dude,
ago.
I'm calling it. He's gonna kill
Right?
Sentry.
You think, man, that would suck. Like, they just brought him in. Like, we did see this happen in King in Black like 5 years ago or so in the comics in the Donny Cates run when Null shows up and rips Sentry in half.
Yeah, it's true.
Immediately in issue 1 to kind of show, first off, how powerful he can be. So, like, they could just do that again on screen.
Hit the like and subscribe. We make this video every week. As we already told you, the #1 most trending book in the world out of nowhere. New Avengers #1. The last 9.8 sale, $70 in March. No one thought this was happening. $5 average sales. They changed the name from Thunderbolts to New Avengers. Clearly we have a New Avengers team, and it's not who you would expect, which is what this book was all about.
I had to think about it over this last week, and this is probably my favorite comic book run ever.
This is like the time that I was getting really back into picking up and reading weekly. This is like the Civil War, Brian Michael Bendis era.
Correct. Yes, this book is phenomenal. You need to give it a shot. This is a really cool team of Avengers, which is kind of why I'm a little bitter that they used this title for this movie, which features a bunch of villains.
Dude, the Thunderbolts was a completely different roster.
Yeah.
Then they made the Thunderbolts movie, changed the name to New Avengers, which has a completely different roster from the book that's spiking the #1 this week. It's Deja Brother Voodoo.
It doesn't, oh, wow, that was really lame. It doesn't make any sense. The book New Avengers, you got Wolverine, you got Spider-Man, you got Luke Cage, Captain America, Iron Man, Jessica Drew, and Sentry, and you got, it's a really cool team. None of them are in this movie. I guess Sentry is, so that was the cool connective tissue, but again, go check out this book. It's really cool. What's more interesting too is they just announced a new Thunderbolts comic that is dropping next month, except it has now been revealed that is a New Avengers title. They did the same thing they did with the movie. They announced a Thunderbolts comic. Just kidding, it's the same exact, they just did the same thing. You can see here the original solicitation which says Thunderbolts, and then the new one where it just says New Avengers. It's the exact same cover, they just swapped the titles.
But all the characters are from the movie, right?
No, actually, you got Winter Soldier and you got Black Widow, but it's Natasha, it's not Yelena, so that seems like a weird missed opportunity to me. You got Hulk on the team, you got Eddie Brock Carnage, which I think is kind of a cool inclusion. Clea from Doctor Strange is in there, so it sounds like a cool team. I'm interested to check this book out, but that one specifically feels like a halfway between Thunderbolts and New Avengers, and I'm reading the original run right now in omnibus form just to relive the glory days, and that's what you need to go do. Just go pick this book up and read it, because New Avengers by Brian Michael Bendis is top-notch comics.
660% increase in copies sold week over week. Don't go ham on this. I'm not a fan of buying key books based off of title alone, especially when the inside is so different than what we're getting on the screen. I mean, it's super cheap, but it's a $5 book. Buy it in high grade, purchase it raw, get it graded yourself, and buy a book you really want. Appreciate your time today, as always.
Geek responsibly.
Enough said. That's the end of the video, Ryan. We did it.
We made it!
We did it. Congratulations. You made it to the very end of the video where we tell you about how you can win giveaways from us. We do them weekly, and this week was a Mark Spears issue 4, 1 in 25. So the winner is phone number ending in 0143.
Correct. I'm realizing I should have brought that book and showed it off here because it's at our warehouse. Imagine it, we could fill it in here in post-production.
It's a 1 in 25.
It's got this creepy doctor guy with a syringe on it. I don't want it, it's scary. You can take it off my hands. I will be contacting you through your phone number text message service, letting you know that you won this book, your phone number ending in 0143, like Tom said. And next week, what are we doing? We're giving away 5 books?
That's right, 5 books, all the same book. It's a Dallas Fan Expo exclusive, John Jang's Silver Surfer, the first time he's ever done Norrin Rat on a cover, like solo, and it's beautiful, and it's not Dallas Comic-Con yet, so you're gonna get it before everyone at the convention. And the way you can acquire giveaways from us, we do them a lot, is very simple. comictom.com, put your phone number in, it's how we contact you and keep you up on all the things we're doing. It's our SMS group, and then you are in for every giveaway we do randomly going forward.
And the sooner you enter, the better your chances will be because that number just keeps going up. So yeah, get in there and get a giveaway, and we'll see you next week.